from Big PB55. After spending the last year or two as an active media member covering the Wild, what do you feel of the biggest, I'm guessing are the biggest mistakes management is making versus what you saw in Tampa Bay that is holding them back from being a true cup contender?
Well, I think in Tampa, what you think you've seen them do is be a little more cutthroat in kind of decisions they have to make. They're both bold at the deadline, trading top picks to get like Coleman and Goudreau and Savard and stuff, which of course they're in a different situation than the Wild are. The Wild haven't been giving up top picks, but they're not a player or two away from, winning a cup. But one of the differences is of course just their very strict business, like maybe even to a point cutthroat approach with certain guys, trading McDonough, no trade clause versus it feels like, and this is just Guerin's philosophy, he likes his guys, his players, and he doesn't feel like he needs to get rid of them because he feels like you have to replace them anyways. So I think there is, I guess loyalty is the wrong word, but there's a little more of a probably an emotional attachment, I think, with some players in these contracts you're seeing. It would be hard for me to envision, certain signings that were done here that would be done in Tampa. But, the Steven Stamkos thing is a perfect example, right? Like they let the most important player, best player in franchise history tangle in the wind. Like, did you see any example of the Wild doing that with any of their guys?
Well, it's funnier too when like Stamkos didn't even have a discussion the year prior, whereas all of these guys are getting signed a year prior to being free agents. So it is definitely different, but like you said, very different situations for the organizations too.
They're different places in their path, right? I think the Wild have done a better job drafting in more recent years than the Lightning haven't had first round picks. They traded them all away, right? But even like the second or third round, like the Wild have developed or have drafted better the last 6-7 years than the Tampa Bay Lightning have. So there's strengths to both, but I just think overall, just each GM is different in their own way and the way that they want to do things. But I think Tampa Bay has been a little more cutthroat in some of their decisions that they've made with their roster. And part of that has to deal with the cap situation that they've dealt with, and part of it deals with the window that they're in, that they have, they're not building towards the future, they're building towards the now, and how can I win make cups as I can with this core that I have. So but I think that would be the main one for me, the differences in how they operate.
Fair.
And plus, and the analytics department is much bigger in Tampa too. The analytics department, they have more people working in that versus they had Matt Sells, obviously, with the Wild and maybe some help there. But I think they do a lot more as far as having the personnel and manpower analytics department than they do in Minnesota.
Yeah,